I'm glad y'all are so tuned into the story because I'm tuned in. I am dedicated. I am all in on finding out all the information of what's happening with Forma's bankruptcy. If you do not know, Forma Brands is the parent company of many companies, including Morphe and Jaclyn Cosmetics. They also have a deal with REM Beauty by Ariana Grande. Well, there was a big hearing this past Wednesday where they talked about a lot of the details of the deal, and we learned a lot, my friends. So I'm going to go in and tell you all of the things happening with Forma, Jaclyn Cosmetics, and REM Beauty in just a moment. We also have a story that actually stemmed from Reddit and some posts over there that ended up filtering over to TikTok about Kosas Cosmetics and their natural claims and how that may be contributing to products going bad way too fast, forming mold, stuff like that. We're going to talk about that story. And then once we jump into the product report, we have Glam Light Cosmetics with a very unique Valentine's Day collab. We have so much to talk about today, so hang tight. We are jumping into it right now. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to What's Up in Makeup, where we talk about everything that is happening in the beauty space right now. And the biggest thing happening in the beauty space right now is this ongoing bankruptcy case with Forma Brands and how that is affecting their child companies underneath their parent company, Jaclyn Cosmetics, and Morphe and other companies, and also how it affects their licensing agreement with REM Beauty, that is Ariana Grande's makeup line. If there's one thing that I have very much learned about bankruptcy in general through looking through these court cases is that I never want to deal with this in my entire life. It is so complex. There's so many things that happen, so many things that need to be dealt with, and it is multi-layered. It is a lot, my friend. So let's focus and talk about the things that are relevant to our beauty space, starting with the parent company, Forma Brands, and what's going on with them. The big thing on that end is that they are trying to sell the company to two of their major investors. That's what's been disclosed. I don't know if there's other people that are involved in purchasing, but the major investors that are trying to purchase it are Jefferies Finance LLC and Cerberus Capital Management. Now, Forma wanted this to happen and be done on February 16th, which is really, really soon. I mean, the last court hearing was on the 8th of February, and they wanted to be all wrapped up by the 16th. Well, the judge in this case was not having it. Totally why are we doing this in a week? What's the harm of going through the proper channels of a bankruptcy hearing? Why do we have to rush this through? The reason why a traditional bankruptcy has to be drug out longer is because they want to make sure there's plenty of time for companies to bid on the company in bankruptcy to make sure that anybody invested within the company is getting the maximum amount of money. Forma's lawyer essentially said that they already went through this long pre-sale process, not necessarily long, but a pre-sale process from the end of September all the way up to when they declared bankruptcy in January, and nobody wanted the company. They put out all these non-disclosure things and they gave out information to all these potential buyers. There was one that was kind of a maybe, but then that one was absolutely not. So he's saying nobody wants this company. And this is the juicy bit. He said that it would be best for everyone involved to know who the buyer is, including, quote, remaining influencer contracts like Jaclyn Hill. Literally everybody in the courtroom that spoke was backing up what this lawyer was saying. We really don't need extra time. If you're confident that that will be the only bid, then get started to document and draft those documents and do what needs to be done to ensure that you can close on your timetable. There's a lot that could be said on it, but I think it really comes down to establishing a fair process under my watch, and 1 week after I approve the bid procedures order is insufficient for that purpose. And then Forma's lawyer came back and tried to fight it just a little bit more, and he was well, I'm a little concerned about people at the top, in my own words, doing some shady business and making some deals before everything goes through. And the judge was you know what? I trust everybody in this process to do what is right and do what is legal. So I don't see this being any different than any other bankruptcy case I've handled. So we are going to make the date March 2nd. That's the bid deadline, but the sale hearing is going to be March 21st. The reason why I wanted to mention that here today is because I want to see how this ends up playing out as far as their contracts with Jaclyn and how that works out, how it works out with their senior management at the top. And I wanted to have a timeline for us so that we knew this bit in case it all went south. The second big piece, which I think is the second juiciest piece, because I think the first juiciest piece is my third piece that I'm going to talk to you about. The second one has to do with REM Beauty and the sale of their assets. Technically, they are not selling all of the licensing to specifically Ariana Grande. They are selling it to REM Beauty LLC. But if you break that down, AG Ariana Grande, REM Beauty, BTY. So it's an LLC that's associated with Ariana Grande is what it seems like in the court papers. What we learned very solidly in the hearing was that the sticking point that they're having trouble with is that Ariana Grande already has a deal with Ulta for fragrances, wants to keep that relationship going really well, and the contracts that Forma had in order to sell REM Beauty at Ulta with the bankruptcy and the selling and everything, it's just real complicated. So they want to make sure that through this whole process, Ariana can hold on to her positive relationship with Ulta Beauty. And we know Ulta Beauty's involved. And if you saw my short that I put up earlier this week, Ulta has filed to be a part of the lawsuit in the way that they want to be served papers about what is happening in the court case. They want to officially be on the record that they are keeping their eye on what is happening here. The lawyer for what they call the AG parties, or the Ariana Grande parties, Ariana Grande's lawyer, wanted to make it very clear and on the record that, quote, all will be terminated as part of the transactions contemplated by the purchase agreement when it closes. So in plain English, I interpreted that as Ariana Grande wants absolutely nothing to do with Forma after this. And once they get this whole deal signed, she's out. REM is out. Anything associated with Ariana Grande is not going to be connected with Forma Beauty anymore. The parties in this case hope to come to an agreement and a deal by February 23rd, which is very interesting because February 23rd is also the day that they have moved specific problems going on with Oxygen Development and Jaclyn Hill specifically to talk about what's going on with them. That's going to happen on the 23rd as well. There was a document that was filed that I'm not going to show you because it actually has a thing that says confidential at the top, and it kind of freaked me out. So I'm not going to share with you that actual document, but what it showed was that Oxygen Labs and Jaclyn Cosmetics were crossed off for the cure amounts that they were talking about on that document. So the money that needed to be paid in order to settle open contracts, they were crossed off of it because I think what they're saying is that they don't want to handle those with all of the rest of them. They want to have a totally separate day to address the issues with Oxygen Development and Jaclyn Hill. Not Jaclyn Cosmetics, but Jaclyn Hill herself. If you don't know what I'm talking about Oxygen Development, I will link the video where we go really deep into Oxygen Development and why they are involved, and Jaclyn Hill and why she's involved with Oxygen Development. That was a real long story, but very interesting. So I'll link that episode of What's Up in Makeup down below. So this is the most juicy bits, in my opinion, that came out, not in the actual court hearing, but in the papers filed. If we had any question at all that Jaclyn Cosmetics was not owned by Jaclyn Hill, we have even more evidence now. I'm going to show you on the screen because this is not marked as confidential, and all of these are public records. A list of everyone involved with the company at the time of filing was published, and Jaclyn's name is nowhere on here. It is the list of debtors, officers, directors, managing members, general partners. It's everybody that is at the top of Jaclyn Cosmetics specifically. Jaclyn is not there. The next section asks if there's anyone else who was in control in any of those positions in the past year that isn't currently in control. And part of me was thinking Jaclyn's name might be on here, but nope. It's not there either. So the people that are coming after me and being like, how do you know Jaclyn doesn't own Jaclyn Cosmetics? Because it's right there, because the legal documents, the people that sign these documents, they will go to prison if they lie. That's why. I don't understand why people, when they're presented with direct evidence, it is there, it is laid out, there are still excuses made. What is going on? But anyway, I digress. The next part is just a little bit nosy. It's not really that important, but I thought it was interesting, so I'm sharing it anyway. It is the gross revenue for Jaclyn Cosmetics for 2020, which is when Forma Brands took over Morphe and Jaclyn Cosmetics and all of that. That was $307,000 about the gross revenue for specifically Jaclyn Cosmetics. And then in 2021, it was $14.4 million. That's a lot of money. That company was doing well. I don't know. That's a lot of money. And then $9.8 million in 2022. So there was a significant drop in 2022. But if I remember correctly, there weren't as many launches in 2022 as there were in 2021. So that may be part of it. This is another part. So it also lists creditors that were paid by Jaclyn Cosmetics specifically within 90 days of filing the bankruptcy. Bankruptcy courts do not play. They want all the information. So this is what it says. It says Jaclyn Hill LLC was paid. Now this is different than Jaclyn Cosmetics LLC. Jaclyn Cosmetics LLC is owned by Forma. Jaclyn Hill LLC is owned by Jaclyn Hill specifically. So she is listed as receiving 3 payments from November 17th to December 1st of 2022, totaling about $564,000. But look at this part. Look at how she is labeled. She is labeled as a collaborator and or licensor. So if you want to know what her official role is in the company, that is the official role. Additionally, there are new documents that call her an unsecured creditor, which means there's no collateral, and it says that they owe her about $1.1 million. Interestingly, Oxygen Labs is also listed on there as an unsecured creditor. In the previous documents, it said they were owed $10. Oxygen Labs comes back and is like, no, bitch. You owe us way more than $10. They now are listed at $169,000. I don't want to get too in the weeds here and get too complicated, but General Atlantic, they were the company that had invested heavily in Morphe back in 2019, and then Forma took over in 2020. Now, General Atlantic is listed as a secured creditor, so with collateral, they claim to be owed $58.8 million from specifically the date of January 7th, 2022. So I don't know if that was like a loan or an investment or whatever, but that's a lot of money. And then one more thing about Jaclyn Cosmetics is it gives the financials of everything relating to that specific part of the Forma Brands umbrella, that specific company. And it looks like Jaclyn Cosmetics owes about $19 million specifically from that business. And there is just one more thing I want to go over, but I want to admit that I don't know exactly what this means. So I'm going to put it up there with a disclaimer that I literally do not know. We've been talking about since the beginning about the difference between insiders and not insiders. And we've talked about how Jaclyn Hill is not an insider. The insiders are the people that are directly involved as investors or whatever within the company. So this speaks to money changing hands between insiders. So in this case, from umbrella company brand to umbrella company brand. So a money transfer between Jaclyn Cosmetics and Morphe. It looks like millions of dollars changed hands between these two companies, and the balance as of December 31st, 2021 was about $4.7 million, and the balance as of the end of 2022 was $7.6 million. So what I don't know about the situation is which way the money went, because I don't have the lawyer knowledge of whether the money was transferred from Jaclyn Cosmetics to Morphe or transferred from Morphe to Jaclyn Cosmetics. There is one other piece that can lend some clarity to this, and it says intercompany receivable from Morphe LLC. So that leads me to believe that Morphe gave money to Jaclyn Cosmetics. And make sure in your brain you're separating this Jaclyn Cosmetics from Jaclyn Hill. Jaclyn Hill is separated. This has nothing to do with her. It's from brand to brand specifically. So I don't know why Morphe would give Jaclyn Cosmetics money, but it's interesting nonetheless. And maybe we'll find out more on February 23rd when they go through all of the Jaclyn Hill and Forma Brands and Oxygen development. Maybe we'll find out more then. But I will keep you posted. This is kind of all we've got going on right now as far as this case. And I'm so glad you're finding this as interesting as I am, because I can get in the weeds on stuff like this. And sometimes I wonder, like, is anybody else going to care? Because I think this is so fascinating and I'm so glad you care. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure that you are subscribed for future updates, because I will be following the story very closely. It's so funny that this story came up this week because we were literally just talking about Kosas. I was saying how a lot of people in my comment section have been buying Kosas foundations and concealers and stuff, and realizing that after way too short of a period of time, in their opinion, that the foundation or the concealer started to smell a little off. Like it seemed like it had gone bad way too quickly. And now there's a story on it. Because this is coming out, the clean beauty isn't necessarily necessary, that it's more of a marketing technique than actually making better cosmetics. People talk about it. And about 8 months ago on Reddit, someone posted their Kosas concealer. They were saying they got it a little over a year ago and that it was starting to grow mold, which is absolutely disgusting. Now, like TikTok does, they resurfaced this old Reddit post from 8 months ago, and it's been circulating around TikTok. And TikTok, like, it goes fast over there. You have one person saying it and that gets shared, and then before you know it, it's all over, and there's so many people making videos about it. Because there's so many videos about it, people are commenting. There's so many more comments about people saying that their product smells rancid, like it smells like blue cheese, and it's like, ugh. So NBC News looked into this, and they asked a rep from Kosas about the complaints about the product, and Kosas didn't exactly answer them. They just said, go look at our FAQ, everything's over there. And this is what the FAQ says. It says that Kosas uses, quote, safe, effective preservatives and antimicrobial stabilizers which prevent against mold, yeast, and pathogens. Along with that, they have also been commenting back to some of the TikTok posts and some of the comments under the posts. One user posted a video of the concealer being discolored, and Kosas said that it just needed to be stirred, that it just had separated within the tube, and then it was perfectly fine. One thing that's really important for all of us to remember is that most makeup, especially makeup that's sold outside of the US, have the little jars on them that say how long a product lasts. And it's important to note that the Kosas concealer only has a 6-month jar. So like, I have an app. I know there's a bunch of different ways you can keep track of how long you've had a product, but I have an app. I'll put the link to and the information on it down below. It's not sponsored or anything. I just literally found it in the App Store. But it's a way to keep track of when you bought a cosmetic, and it actually gives you alerts for when to throw a product away, which I think is fantastic, because nobody needs like a fungus or, a rash or anything happening because they're using cosmetics that have expired. And it's also important before we purchase to look and see how long it's going to last and make sure we're okay with that lasting time. Cruelty-free cosmetics has been a topic in our beauty space for so freaking long. Like, as long as I've been in this space, we've been talking about cruelty-free cosmetics. I'm sure before YouTube, people were talking about cruelty-free cosmetics. And one of the things we talk about is that the brands that traditionally are not accepted as cruelty-free usually have a disclaimer on their website, and it says something like, we do not test our products on animals. However, we will allow labs to test on our behalf where required by law. It's something like that. And the main place where this happens, the only place to my knowledge, is the country of China. And the way that I personally feel about it is that China is a huge market for cosmetics. I mean, the population there is ginormous, and there are a lot of people that are super into cosmetics, and they just really want to sell their products there. Their business, they want to sell their products there, so they just kind of go with it. But I don't think that a lot of these companies prefer that. I see that a lot of companies would much rather be fully cruelty-free in order to get more money from customers that care about cruelty-free status. So I think that a lot of them will do pretty much anything anything in order to stop countries from testing on animals. Maybe because they want to protect the bunnies, but maybe also because they just want more money. So we are making some progress in that there are more than 35 cosmetic manufacturers, suppliers, industry associations, and animal protection organizations that have now banded together to try to advance animal-free testing in a global manner. They call themselves the ICCS, or the International Collaboration on Cosmetics Safety. The ICC members include L'Oreal, LVMH, and P&G. So they are going to be funding rigorous scientific evaluation of new animal-free safety assessment approaches, sharing the results with cosmetic and chemical regulators. It also intends to fund education and training activities to help build confidence in animal-free safety assessment approaches. So the president and CEO of this ICCS, her name is Erin Hill. This is what she said, quote, ICCS brings together scientists from leading organizations around the world to continue this momentum and work toward our shared ambition for a future where no ingredients or products are tested on animals. I am going to put a screenshot up of all of the companies and entities that are involved in this in case you would like to pause the video and peruse at your leisure. And what kills me about this is I felt like in early 2021, there was news that there was like another way to get into the Chinese market by going through these like hoops and submitting this paperwork or whatever in order to bypass their pre-market testing. So I don't know, like I had reached out to Cruelty Free International back then to try to understand like what was happening with it. They never got back to me. So I'm really confused, honestly, where cruelty free status is now as far as the regulations in China, but it is something I'm going to continue to look into. I feel like we're in such a weird place with cruelty free right now, and I really want to understand it better. And finally, in top news, we have just a fun story for you because we've been real heady this whole time. It's been real so let's do a lighthearted story about Zara and kitty makeup, like specifically. It's makeup that is specifically made for children. And what I love about it is it's not emphasizing the beauty aspect of makeup, but the artistry aspect of makeup. They call it a playful capsule full of color in which creativity, imagination, and fun are key. It's so cute. The mini artist line includes both products and accessories that aim to push creative self-expression and imagination through the exploration of tones, textures, and patterns. So the formulas and textures, they say, are friendly, gentle, and easy to be applied. The nail polish is really neat. So it's 12 colors and they're water-based. So they can put it on their nails and then they just put their nails in water and it just rinses off and then they can paint them again and do all of that. Like, how fun is that? Because remember, at least when I was a kid, I don't know if when you were a kid you had this, but we had nail polish that you would put on and then you could peel it off. But I like this so much better. There are 6 glitter shades and also 6 matte shades. And now I'm thinking like glitter shades were washing down the sink, environmental, my brain just spiraling in a negative direction. So maybe we can wipe them off with a wet paper towel and throw them in our trash can and maybe that's better. I don't know. But all the rest of the products are meant for face and body, including cream face color pencils, a powder palette with stickers to personalize the palette, glitter pots, and a cream palette. They also have brushes. They have little face charts. They have a mixing palette and stencils to help kids get even more creative. I mean, personally, like I know some people are like, kids should never wear makeup, blah, blah. I disagree strongly. And if that's you, I apologize for representing you that way, but that's just the way that I feel. I feel like my kids, when they were little, they just played with regular washable markers. I would have loved to have had something like this that washed off a little easier, because I will not embarrass Phoenix by showing you the picture of Phoenix with like the markers all over their face. But they were really cute with it on, but it would have been nice if it washed off a little easier. And it's just fun when you're talking about, 5-6-year-olds playing with color. I mean, let them write on themselves, especially with something like this that's so easy to remove. I freaking love it. But even if you disagree with me, I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments down below. All right, my friend, we have made it to the product report, and we're going to talk first off about Glam Light and their new collaboration for Valentine's Day with Chucky. And I thought this was such a great idea. You know what? I will tell you though, I don't watch horror horror movies for the most part because they terrify me, and then especially zombie stuff, like I can't even do it. So I haven't ever seen any of the Chucky movies. I haven't seen the TV show, even though I will always have a love for Devon Sawa, and I know he is in the show. We are both very happily married, but I don't think that I will ever stop crushing on that man, ever, for my entire life. Can I keep you? But anyway, I got lost for a second. Let's go back to the Chucky collection. So it is for Valentine's Day. I just felt like I needed to express my love for Devon Sawa for Valentine's Day.
That was great. It's okay.
Stop it, Jen. Stop. Fixating over. It launches on February 14th. It is the Crazy in Love palette, 15 shades for $32. The blush palette, $14. 2 pans, but they're the exact same shade, which is really weird. I wonder what the logic was behind that choice. Why would you make them the exact same shade? Like, it's just, that's very odd to me. There's also an eyeliner duo that's $18. It comes with a felt tip liquid liner and a kohl liner. There is at least one other product in this line, but it hasn't been revealed as of time of filming. But I do think this is a really cute collection, and I am excited for Chucky fans everywhere to get their hands on it. I personally love Lamlight's eyeshadow formula. I think they do a fantastic job. And this one I'm honestly the most excited about of all the products in What's Up in Makeup today. This is the Odin's Eye and Perfect World collection, and they have collabed with 3 influencers. They did a 3 influencer collab before. This is their second one, and the people they chose, I am so happy for them. So we have the Lauren May Beauty Tea Talk palette, the Makeup Just for Fun Flora Story palette, and the Baddie Bean Planet Spirit palette. They're $33.90 each, or you can get a bundle of all 3 for $91.95. It is limited edition. They launch on, again, Valentine's Day on the 14th at 8 a.m. PST. So I'm just very, very excited for them. It's always nice to see people that I appreciate their work in our space. I think they do a fantastic job. So it's lovely to see them getting to do collaborations. So congratulations, ladies. I am cheering you on and so incredibly happy for you. Let's move on to Orc Cosmetics by Samantha Ravndal. So we have the Plush Ritual Ceramide Lip Treatment. It is a build your own bundle that is now available with 2 Plush Ritual lip treatments for $61.70. The retail price of them separately would be $66. I have not been keeping up with this brand. I haven't been. I didn't even know these things existed. I don't think this actual formula is new. I think it's just the bundle that is something that's new on their website. They look super nice though. Have you tried these? I would love to know what you think of them. The Charlotte Tilbury Matte Beauty Blush Wands have now launched at Sephora. They're $42, 3 shades. I don't know why I'm so visually attracted to these things. They really don't look like they're anything different, but my brain is like, these are so pretty. I don't know why. Like, my logical brain is like, these look the same as everything, but my emotional brain is like, oh my gosh. So weird. Bare Minerals launched this week the Complexion Rescue Natural Matte Tinted Moisturizer Mineral SPF 30, 20 shades. Pretty nice gradient here. $37 each. They say it is a skin improving tinted moisturizer that instantly delivers up to 12 hours of oil control with a natural matte finish and protects against sun damage with mineral-based SPF. They need to be real careful about these SPF claims because we know there's class action lawsuits going on right now against 2 different brands, L'Oreal and Dior, about the sunscreen claims in makeup, because it may last 12 hours of oil control, but that SPF is not lasting 12 hours. So Bare Minerals better be careful. Those class actions are going to come after them too. We have a couple big drops from Melt Cosmetics and Nudestix. Let's start with Melt. So we have a bunch of brow products. We have the Perfectionist Brow Ultra Fine Pen, $24. It says it's in a universal brown, but this looks black. This is the blackest black I've ever seen. This is black. It says a pen that allows you to have the perfect brows without the commitment to microblading or brow lamination. In the little video they show, it does look like it's one of those where, it's that universal taupe shade where the more you press it, the harder you press it, the darker it gets, but it looks real black. If I was in the store, I would not think that that was a brow pencil that was not black. Would you?
I think it's weird. But what's not as weird and also might be appreciated more by some people is the Perfectionist Brow Pencil, $22. It comes in 6 shades, and they do have quite a few that are lighter shades for blondes and brunettes, so I know some people will really appreciate that. And then finally, they have the Perfectionist Brow Gel for $25. It's just a max hold brow gel, very on trend. A lot of people doing the fluffy brows right now, so very smart to come out with that. Now let's go ahead and move on to Nudestix. They have 2 complexion products. The Tinted Cover Skin Foundation, 14 shades there, $36. It is a skin tint liquid foundation with buildable coverage for getting an even skin tone and a flawless natural makeup finish. Then we have the concealer, 12 shades, $28. Full size or a $9 mini is available. It's a long-wear buildable cream concealer that's formulated with skin-loving botanicals to smooth skin's texture and visibly reduce redness. And one thing I hate that brands are doing more and more now is that they're mixing up the shades like all over the place. So it's super hard to figure out like what is the shade, like what is happening, like how do I find my shade? And are there any holes in this that maybe I won't be able to find my shade in there? It's just very confusing. I don't know why brands are doing this. So what I did was I organized the shades into like a visual gradient so we could kind of look at it and see. And for both the concealer and the foundation, I see holes in the medium. It seems to jump from light to deep pretty quickly. So if you are a medium skin tone, you may want to swatch in store and make sure you can find something that matches you, because it's odd. There's a lot of light. It seems like they pretty much skip the medium, and then there's a few deep skin tone ones. So I don't know. I wish that they would just put them in order. Put them deepest to lightest, put them lightest to deepest. I don't care. Just put them in a gradient so it's easier to deal with, you know? Do you feel the same way as I do? Or am I making a big deal over nothing? Maybe I'm making a big deal over nothing. I don't know. I just like people to be able to easily shop for what they want. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing. Moving on to products that are listed as coming soon on Sephora's website, let's start with the Freck Beauty Rich Hydrating Face Primer Serum. It is $38. It is a gripping cream to oil primer that can be worn alone or to lock in makeup. Now, there's no launch date on this one like the other ones that we're going to talk about in just a minute, but there are 83 incentivized reviews. There's an average of 4.8 stars on this right now, and the 2 lowest reviews are 3 stars each, and they complain about the stickiness of the primer, which it says specifically it's a gripping primer. So you would expect it to be more of a sticky formula. So how do you feel about these incentivized reviews? I kind of feel like the initial ones are a little bit, I kind of side eye them a little bit. I mean, they could be being honest. It could be freaking amazing. We'll just have to wait and see once, more reviews come in, especially from paid consumers. In my opinion, I feel like we'll have a better idea what's going on with this. Because 4.8 stars seems really, really high. Really high, unless it's just freaking amazing. Also coming soon, 2 things from Makeup Forever. First, the Makeup Forever Mist and Fix 24-hour hydrating setting spray. Of course, this is not a new product. It is a new packaging. It is coming February 14th in standard size and a mini size. But what's different about this is that they now have a new sprayer on it that's more of a mist rather than a traditional kind of spray. It's like a which I love. As someone who hates setting sprays, that if I'm going to use one, that is my favorite format. So I'm really glad to see that they've changed that. And this one's generating a lot of buzz online, the Makeup Forever HD Skin Matte Velvet Undetectable Long Wear Blurring Powder Foundation, $43, 32 shades there. And this is what I'm talking about putting the order of the shades in a gradient. Because I honestly, like I feel like it's so hard to find your shade when it's all mixed up, and it's hard to see if there's holes in the gradient where you might fit and not be able to find your shade. So I appreciate Makeup Forever being the makeup artist that they are, putting them in some kind of gradient so it's easier for the consumer. I love that. They say it is a lightweight, medium to full coverage powder foundation that blurs the look of imperfections and mattifies for up to 24 hours for a natural, real skin finish. And this does launch on February 17th. And then finally, also coming soon to Sephora, we have the Haus Labs Color Fused Talc-Free Powder Blush with Fermented Arnica, $38. 5 very bright shades, which makes sense for Lady Gaga that they would be bright shades. It does launch on February 23rd. They call it a clean, talc-free blush with fermented arnica that helps reduce redness and hydrating hydraberry that melts into the skin for a second skin finish. Do you think it's weird that a blush they market it as reducing redness? Like, isn't that the point of a blush, is to cause redness? Like, I get that it's supposed to be like a long, like, skincare redness thing, but honestly, like, I think that's weird. I do. And how much are you going to get skincare from a powder product anyway? You do have a skin barrier. So it's like, I don't know. I think that's weird marketing. That's just me though. There's one product that's available now at both Ulta and Sephora, and it is the Fenty Icon Velvet Liquid Lipstick, $29, 5 shades. They say it stays while feeling plush and comfy. So that sounds very nice. Very curious to see reviews on that. Now let's go ahead and move over to Ulta. Just a couple of things. The NYX Fat Oil Lip Drip Vegan Lip Oil. It is $9. I've seen this floating around the internets, Instagram and stuff, that this was coming. It is now at Ulta. It hadn't been at Ulta until this past week. They say serve high shine looks sans stickiness with fat oil lip drip from NYX Professional Makeup. The vegan lip oil that delivers up to 12 hours of hydration. It does come in 8 shades. And honestly, I kind of love the name on this. I kind of love the marketing. I kind of love the branding. I love it. I think it's very appealing to me. The last product we have is a new primer from Dermablend. It is the Brilliant Base Illuminating Primer, $35, formulated with an antioxidant-rich blend of vitamin C and E derivatives. Creamy, lightweight primer instantly brightens skin's appearance, leaving skin feeling refreshed and moisturized. And it's nice to see something like this coming from Dermablend. They're such pros over there, so them going into the more illuminated primer field, I think it's smart of them. I'm glad that they're doing it because I know that they are a very loved brand, especially with professionals in the makeup space. All right, PR or purchase product of the week. Let's talk about what's on my face today. So on my eyes today, I actually set up my look with these Jones Road bronzers. Actually, I think I only used one of them on my eyes. I'm wearing both of them on my cheeks today. I used the light one to kind of set up my crease. And then on my lid, I used the ColourPop shade Sage Bundle. And it is one of their Jelly Much shadows. I'll show you what that looks like. I freaking love this. They just sent this to me and I love it. It is such a beautiful, beautiful shade. I'm still not sure how I feel about the Jelly Muches just in general, but I really love the way this looks on my eyes. Let me pull it back a little bit, make sure it's not washed out. I don't feel like the shift is really, it's doing it justice. It really is pretty. Maybe on my finger, it'll do it more justice. I don't know. I feel like it's not really showing off what is going on in here and what's going on my eyes. It's really nice. Underneath it, I have the KVD eye primer that I tested in my worst rated products at Sephora video. If you haven't watched that, go watch it. It's really good. So I'm still playing with this and I'm using it with these products. So I just want to let you know, still working on that. For my eyeliner today, I also used another ColourPop product. This is the Creme Gel Liner in the shade Overboard. That's what's going on for my liner. And then for my lashes, so excited BK Beauty was kind enough to send over the Risa Does Makeup eyelashes. Of course, I'm showing you an empty box because they're on my face. This is the style Day Club, and I am an eyelash wimp. I do not like really obnoxiously big lashes. This is about as big as I feel comfortable going, but I do love the way they look. I think they're absolutely beautiful. Risa did a fantastic job on this pair. I will continue to play with the other ones. And then finally on my lips today, another ColourPop product. They keep sending me stuff, so I keep trying it. I didn't get much other PR this week. So this is the So Glassy Lip Gloss, and it is in the shade Newport, I believe. And then what I did was I took the Jones Road bronzer in the shade Dusty Rose, and I mushed that all over the lip gloss. Because I can't make things easy. I have to make it complicated. And then I topped it with the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in You're the Prize. And that's how I got this lip today. Because overcomplicating my lips is just something that I love to do. It's enjoyable. It was fun. I love my lips today. Notable sales this week, just 2 for you. We have from Viseart, save up to 40% off until Valentine's Day. A lot of their 12-pan palettes are over there for only $28, and then 8-pan palettes, a lot of them are $21. So it's a really nice sale over there. And then the only other sale I wanted to mention is from Gerard Cosmetics. They are having a Super Bowl sale, 57% off site-wide. This includes Hair AF, which is something that I absolutely swear by. I really feel like it has thickened my hair. I've been using it for like 6 to 8 months. It's been a while. I've been using it a really long time, and I do see a thickening of my hair that I personally credit to Hair AF. Disclaimer, I am friends with Jen Gerard. She did send it to me in PR, but I also purchased a couple bottles for myself and for my best friend. So I'm a customer and also friend of the brand. So
just as a disclaimer. So if you're interested in that, this is a great time to get it because it is pretty pricey, but you can also get things like their Slay All Day setting spray. I really love the Clean Canvas eye primer. Just make sure you use the teeniest, tiniest little bit because a little bit goes a very long way on that. And of course, their liquid lipstick. So that is going on from now until February 13th. And then finally, my friend, let us talk about our artist shout out of the week. This is Anne-Therese Roth. She is from Sweden and runs an account called Face Me, Face It. There are a lot of special effects on this account, but honestly, they're so good, they really gross me out, so I'm not going to show you any of them because they literally like make my stomach go bleh. So we're going to focus on the pretty ones, and I mean that in the most complimentary way possible because they're supposed to be gross. But anyway, let's talk about the pretty ones. Here's the first one I wanted to show you. It is her Valentine's Day look, and it is nuts. I love it so much. I'm trying to interpret some kind of meaning in this. What do you see? I'm still having trouble finding, like, maybe there is no meaning. Sometimes art just doesn't have a meaning, but artistry wise, I do love the pink nose contour and how it complements the whole eye look. I also love how she makes the symmetry of the white liner look so easy. Like, I can't even imagine how hard that is, but she makes it look effortless. I also love the pop of pink on the lip, of course. Let's move on to the second look. This is called You'll Find Me in the Forest. It is just so fun and playful. I love how she goes hard on the bronzer on the outside of the face, but then she also adds the freckles that give it that cute vibe. And of course, the horns and the ears, super cool. And I also love how she took that extra step to make her neck and chest almost look like a tree trunk. Just really finishes off the look. Really beautiful. And then finally, this one is called You Say Witch Like It's a Bad Thing. And I was immediately attracted to this one because this is my favorite shade of purple ever. But also, the artistry is just so incredibly cool. So for me, it's the small touches of like the moon between her eyebrows and the ombre on her lips and the purple blush placement on the cheeks and her nose. And of course, the ridiculously long lashes. Oh my gosh, just so cool. It just brings me joy. The whole look just brings me joy, and her account is bringing me joy. So if you would like to follow her like I just followed her, of course, Instagram link is down in the description box down below. And that, my friend, was What's Up in Makeup this week. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, thank you to the What's Up in Makeup Facebook hunters. Their names are scrolling below me. Thank you for taking time out of your week to add things to the group. I really appreciate it. They're kind of my safety net to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I truly appreciate them just putting anything that they see in that group. If you'd like to join that Facebook group, I do have a link down below in order to find that group. It is a private group. It's a nice small group. It is a no chatter group. It's really just a place to dump photos, but it's a great way also to be able to see what's probably going to be coming up in the show for the following week. Our chat today is going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be hanging out, talking about makeup. If you would like to hang out with us, we would love to have you. It's very easy to find. If you're subscribed, all you need to do is go to your subscription feed. It should be right there for you. If you're not subscribed, you got to jump through a couple more hoops. You need to go to my channel page, click on my videos, and then click on the live tab. That's where all of my live streams are housed. That's where you're going to find it as well. So whether you're joining us live or whether you are watching us on the replay, I would love to have you. Hopefully you can drop by. And I will take this opportunity to thank you one more time for watching What's Up in Makeup. I appreciate you. If you would like to hang out just a little bit longer, YouTube should be recommending a couple of videos for you right over here to watch, including last week's episode of What's Up in Makeup, which is right down there. YouTube's picking one for you right there. But if you do need to go, it is no problem at all. Thank you for hanging out as long as you did, and I'd love to, and I will see you in a video very soon.